G'day, my name is Felix. Welcome to my little corner of the back room. Today we're checking out Myosotis. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure. It is a visual novel I found on itch.io. Shall I read you the description? Would you enjoy that? You've died at the hands of your now ex-boyfriend, Ethan. Filled with a mix of sorrow, confusion, and rage, you decide to spend your afterlife haunting him in the hope of getting an answer from your murder. However, you're only given more questions as you realize you're not the only ghost following him around. Right. Shall we get into it? Start. Okay, would you like content warning? Sure, let's see the content warnings. Content warning. Warming. Murder, strangulation, fire, described blood, described corpse, described kissing a dead body, and described burning alive. Okay. Cool, let's start the game. Move my keyboard closer. Work is boring. You never thought you'd ever be able to enjoy a job, and this particular one only proves you right. You shuffle through a stack of old case files, flipping through the pages without really reading them. The words blur together, medical terms and names of the dead all blending into the same dull nothing. That's all this is. There was nothing to do at the cemetery today. You should be at the cemetery right now, you tell yourself, but you wandered back here, hoping for anything to break the monotony. But even here, there's nothing. Aside from all the bodies, but that doesn't freak you out as much as it used to. You sigh, dropping the files back onto the counter. The morgue smells like antiseptic and old metal, the kind of scent that sticks to your clothes. The hum of the lights presses against your skull. You rub your eyes, glancing toward the door. As if on cue, someone enters. Someone familiar. You've heard the sound of those footsteps 1,000 times. It barely registers in your mind. Hover on highlighted text to Inspector Phantasm. Am I in the way? There we go. See if this helps. So, you look down, expecting another coworker, maybe your supervisor coming to scold you for wasting time. But it's Ethan. Ethan Calloway, 23, male, smart, if a bit quiet. You've been dating this goofball for roughly a month. Okay, your boyfriend. What are you doing? You blink at him. He looks off. His stance is stiff, shoulders tense, like he wasn't expecting to find anyone here. For a second, you think about answering seriously, but then again, this place is miserable, and he looks miserable, and it just feels right to break the tension. What? Am I not allowed to loiter in my favorite depressing workplace? You flash him a smirk, but he doesn't react. His eyes flick down to your hands. You follow his gaze, frowning. You weren't holding anything special, just some old paperwork. Cremation permit request form. This one is filled out, but unsigned. I was about to ask the supervisor what to do with it, and the other files down here. But something about it makes him tense, his fingers twitching at his sides. 1 second, I'll just open my drink. ASMR. Put that down. Sure. You set the file back on the counter, watching him carefully now. The shift in the air is subtle, but it's there. Something is wrong. Why are you even in here? Killing time, not literally. Still, no reaction, not even a huff of amusement. Ethan's jaw clenches. His gaze flickers towards the door for half a second, like he's considering something. And that's when it really sinks in. He's nervous. Not annoyed, not confused. Nervous. You've worked with him long enough to know the difference. Your stomach twists. What's up with you? Nothing. His answer comes out too fast. His voice is too sharp, too controlled. Your fingers curl slightly. The lights feel too bright now. The whole room feels smaller, like the walls are closing in. Yeah, sure. Nothing. You take a step back, just slightly, just enough to put some space between you. You shouldn't feel like you have to. Ethan notices. What were you looking for? What? Nothing. I told you I was just... Don't lie. His voice drops lower than before. There's something underneath it. Something restrained. Control and contain. You remember your dad using the same tone on your brother once. He had cheated on his girlfriend and Dad had just... No, even then, Dad's voice didn't sound like this. The tension in the air tightens like a rope around your throat. You don't like this. You don't like the way he's standing, the way his hands curl into fists, like he's holding something back. Sympathetic nervous system. The feeling is barely perceptible within the torrent of adrenaline pumping in your veins, but a deep primal part of you has recognized the presence of a predator. You don't like the fact that, for the first time since knowing him, you don't trust him. Not even a little bit. What is happening? You want to move past him and leave, but he moves first. It's fast. Too fast. Up. 1 second, he's just standing there, staring, his expression unreadable. The next, he's reaching for you. You don't even get the chance to react before his hands are on you, grabbing at your wrist, your arm pushing. You stumble back, knocking over the chair behind you. The metal legs screech against the tile, the sound sharp and jarring. What the hell is happening? There's something wild in his eyes, something raw and terrified, but underneath that, there's certainty. There's intention. He's already made up his mind. Your body thrashes against him. You don't understand. Why? What did you do? Your vision, fight or flight reaction is screaming at you to get away, but he doesn't let go. The pain, sharp and immediate. Ethan. You don't get to finish the question before he shoves you again, harder this time. Your back hits the metal table behind you, cold pressing through your clothes. The breath is knocked from your lungs, and for a second, you don't even feel scared, just confused. This isn't a joke. This isn't some weird misunderstanding. He says something, but you don't hear it over the rush of blood in your ears. You try to push him back again, but your balance is already off. Your feet slip against the sleek tile, and suddenly, you're falling. Something hard and sharp presses into your back as you hit the floor, knocking the breath from your lungs completely. Your vision swims, pain flaring through you, deep and unbearable. Your hands grasp at nothing, your mind stuttering, trying to catch up. Ethan is leaning over you, his face pale and tense, his chest rising and falling too fast. His hands are shaking now. Your fingers brush against something warm spreading beneath you. Type O positive. Oh, I guess that's working. No. The world blurs at the edges, dark creeping in too fast. You try to move, try to say something, but your body won't listen. The morgue feels even colder now. The lights too bright, buzzing louder than before. The weight in your limbs turns to nothing. The sound of your own breathing slows. The pain, it's still there, but it doesn't matter anymore. Your body feels wrong. Ethan is still there, watching, not moving, not saying a word. He just silently leaves and returns with an object in his hand. Then, nothing. Holy shit, what an intro, dude. What the hell? Everything is distorted. The morgue is still there, but it's wrong. At least more wrong than it felt before. The lights are dimmer now, flickering weakly. Animum penumbra. You're 7. It's past midnight. Your brother wants to show you something. It's the Orion constellation, he whispers, barely containing his excitement through his telescope. The stars blur together. I don't understand what that has to do with this. The once harsh brightness reduced to something distant. The constant hum of the fluorescent, the quiet buzz of the cooling units. It's all muffled. In Ferry Were. You're 14, it's past midnight. Your bedroom is on the 2nd floor, but you can hear the television boom below the floorboards. Your parents almost had another fight. Now they watch TV in bitter silence. You would prefer if they had fought instead. You try to move, but your body doesn't feel real. Limbus, lividity. You're 18, it's past midnight. Why is it always past midnight? You're on your 4th coffee, and this homework isn't getting done any quicker. The due date is this morning, but your body feels so heavy. Your limbs are weightless and disconnected, as if you're floating just above the floor. The cold that should be pressing against your skin isn't there. You don't feel anything. Vacuous inoculus. You're 20. It's past midnight. This is your 2nd shift at the morgue and the first time you've laid eyes on a dead body. You saw it for only a second, between 2 closing doors. Your entire being went cold. Not the chill of the room, not the ache in your limbs, not the pounding of blood in your veins. Something shifts in the corner of your vision. Memento mori. Oh, I know that from Unus Annus. You're 21, it's past midnight. Ethan Calloway asks you if you'd like to go out with him. Teasing him, you pretend to hesitate. Yes, I'd love to. You turn and you see yourself. Your body is still there, sprawled on the floor where you fell, motionless, lifeless. Arms slack, eyes dull, blood staining the tile beneath you in a slow, creeping pool. It's so still that for a moment your mind refuses to believe it. That's not you. That can't be you. Then Ethan moves. He kneels beside your body, jaw tight, breath shaky. He hesitates, just for a second, staring at you, or what's left of you, before his hands move, quick and practiced. Question 21X. Bruising around the wrists, cuts and cracks at the back of the skull, defensive wounds, cause of death, blunt force trauma to the head. He brushes your hair out of your face and tucks it behind your ear, caressing your cheek before leaning in momentarily. Oh my god, okay, dude. Caressing your cheek before leaning in momentarily to give it a kiss. What the hell, dude? He then backs up and grabs you by the shoulders, dragging you across the floor and gritting his teeth as he lifts your body and shoves it into a spare storage cabinet. That's mad disrespectful. That you would do that to my body, dude. What the hell? Treat my corpse with respect, would you? You can't speak. You can't breathe. You can't even move as you watch it happen, as Ethan presses your arms against your sides, pushing your legs in, making sure your body fits before slamming the door shut. So rude, dude. That's it. That's where you are now. Shoved away like nothing, like an inconvenience, like you were never here. Ethan exhales sharply, pressing a hand over his face. His chest rises and falls unevenly before he forces himself to breathe slower. His fingers twitch, then steady. Slowly, methodically, he kneels again, this time rifling through your pockets. Huh? Rifling through my pockets? But didn't he close the door? He pulls something out. You can't see what it is, only that it makes him pause. His thumb brushes over it once, twice, before he shoves it into his own pocket. His hands are still shaking, but when he straightens, his face is blank. Another breath, a slow exhale. Ethan rolls his shoulders, cracking his neck like he's resetting himself, like whatever weakness just flickered through him doesn't exist anymore. When he turns towards the door, his steps are steady, controlled, like nothing happened. But you're still here, and you are watching. You aren't breathing anymore, but if you were, you think your chest would be aching. How could you? Then Ethan stops, his hand on the doorknob, his head tilting slightly. And he looks directly at you. Oh my god, what? For the first time, he looks scared. His breath catches, his whole body going rigid, as his eyes flicker first to the door, then to the cold metal cabinet where he stuffed your body, and then to you. Your stomach would have dropped if you still had one. His expression falls apart, his lips part slightly, his brows drawing together, his pupils blown wide with something that looks almost like shock. He looks back at the cabinet, at the motionless body inside, at you again. His breath shudders out, his shoulders locking tight as his fingers twitch at his sides. Then his face twists. Not into fear, not into guilt. Something else. Something unreadable, something dangerous. He doesn't say a word, doesn't even breathe for a second. But you can see it in his eyes. He knows this is real. He doesn't say anything, doesn't question it, doesn't even hesitate. His whole body jerks into motion as he turns away, grabbing the handle and shoving the door open. His footsteps are fast, panicked, but not entirely running. The sharp sound of his shoes echoing against the tiles. The fluorescent lights flicker as the door swings shut behind him. The lock clicks into place. You stare at the door. Your body is still in that cabinet. Ethan is gone, but you're still here. Stillness. Another body in the morgue. And you aren't staying behind. You don't think, you just follow. He reaches the morgue door, grabbing for his keys with shaky hands. The key slips, clatters against the tile. He curses under his breath, grabs it, shoves it into the lock. Click. The bolt slides into place just as you reach the threshold. But the locked door doesn't stop you. Yeah, I didn't think it would, because I'm like a ghost now, right? As if it would. Is he stupid? Hang on one second. I need a You step forward and walk right through it. Figured this would happen. The hallway is dim and empty except for Ethan, who is already halfway down it. His movements are sharp, rushed. His hand is still in his pocket, clenching around whatever he took from you. His breath is shallow, but he isn't stopping. He keeps walking, like if he just pretends hard enough that you aren't real, you'll disappear. You don't disappear. You keep following. He knows you're behind him, but he doesn't dare to look over his shoulder. He shoves open the exit door, stepping out into the cold night air. The city hums in the distance, cars passing, neon lights blinking, life continuing as if nothing has changed. But for you, everything has. Ashenville, suburb a few miles from the East Coast, used to be a ghost town before the turn of the century and the dot-com boom. Ethan walks like a man trying to outrun his own shadow. His pace is steady, too deliberate, too forced. The space between you isn't much, just a few steps. Close enough for him to feel it. Close enough that when he glances at his reflection in a passing window, he sees you. You wonder if it makes his stomach twist the way yours does. Still, he says nothing. No acknowledgement, no denial, just control. Like if he ignores you long enough, if he focuses on putting one foot in front of the other, if he refuses to see you, maybe you'll disappear. But you don't, of course. You know he can hear you. Every shift of movement, every footstep. You aren't even trying to be quiet. And yet, nothing. You narrow your eyes. Fine. You'll remind him if he wants to pretend you don't exist. You pick up your pace, stepping directly in his path, cutting him off. He halts, barely avoiding walking through you. His body tenses. The same sharp inhale, the exact moment of hesitation, the way his fingers curl tighter into his pockets, like he's fighting the urge to react. He doesn't meet your eyes. Then he steps around you and keeps walking. Your stomach twists. It's not fear, not grief. It's rage. You quickly tail behind him. The silence is unbearable. Ethan keeps walking, pretending and acting like you aren't right here. Like you don't exist. Like he didn't just see you, standing in the street, staring back at him. Like you aren't following him through the streets, step for step, waiting for him to acknowledge what he did. Murder or involuntary manslaughter. If it's murder, that's at least 20 years without parole. I'm pretty sure it was murder, dude. It was not accidental. And he won't even look at you. He won't say a word. He just keeps walking. You let him walk. You let him ignore you. You can let him pretend for a while. Or maybe you aren't really there. But it won't last. It can't. Because the longer you follow, the more the anger builds. It crawls up your spine, hot and thick and suffocating, filling the empty spaces where your heartbeat used to be. You're dead. You're dead, and he did it. And now, he's walking like it doesn't matter, like he didn't just shove your body into a cabinet, which is mad disrespectful. Your hands clench at your sides. No heartbeat, no breath, no warmth left in your body. But you still feel this, and suddenly, you're done waiting. Why? Ethan doesn't react. He keeps walking, keeps pretending. That makes it worse. Something inside you snaps. Say something! Your voice rings through the empty street, sharp, furious. Ethan flinches, barely, but it's enough. You see it. His breath stutters, but he keeps moving. You saw me back there, didn't you? Nothing. No reaction. Just that same stiff, careful walk, like he's trying to make himself small, like if he doesn't respond, this moment won't be real. You killed me! Ethan's pace hitches for a fraction of a second, but still he says nothing. You grit your teeth, something white-hot burning under your skin. Why won't he say anything? Why is he still pretending like none of this matters, like you don't matter? What did I ever do to you? You step closer, keeping the pace beside him, refusing to be ignored. You're yelling, your voice raw and demanding, but you don't care. He owes you this. He owes you everything. I thought you cut yourself off, breath catching in your throat before the words finish leaving your mouth. Something about them feels wrong, but it's too late. You already said it. You already let it slip. I thought you loved me. Ethan stares straight ahead, his jaw clenched, so tight you think his teeth might break. It can't hurt you if. He did, though he can no longer admit this to himself now. It's easier that way. It's easier if you never mattered. His hands are shaking, shoved deep into his pockets. He doesn't stop walking, doesn't speak. He doesn't even look at you. And that makes it worse. Because now, more than anything, you remember him. You remember the late nights, the long shifts, and how he looked at you. You remember how his voice sounded when he said your name. How he always pretended not to care, though you were pretty sure he did. You remember thinking he was safe. You remember trusting him. And that pisses you off. Your hands curl into fists at your side. Frustration buzzing through you, restless, uncontainable. You don't care if he talks now. You don't care if he answers. You just want him to feel this. You shove him. Your hands barely make contact before they phase right through him. You knew you wouldn't be able to touch him, but you curse in rage nonetheless. You glare at him, shaking, chest tight with anger. Say something, you coward. Nothing. Not even a twitch of his expression. Fine. If he won't talk, you'll make his life hell. You aren't leaving him alone. Not until he answers you. Okay. This seems like a good spot to leave it, so let's... Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.